Oh, this one.
Oh, okay.
Philly Sports, Love and Pain. I'm Dave. That's Kenny.
Yeah.
There's also Gordy
And
and the newly Mrs. Chinovsky.
Yes.
Hello,
Woo!
Christy.
Hi.
It's a party up in this beach right now.
the Sixers win. We can't do anything down here.
Kenny, can you see your screen?
Yeah.
I'm live sharing the game right now.
Oh, that's actually genius.
Yeah. So this is one of the worst ways to start a podcast ever, but we're like kind of keeping tabs on this last 30 seconds of the Sixers game. Sixers down 1 right now. I think Joe just knocked a 3.
Yeah.
And Gordy, where's that put him for the game?
29 points.
Oh no,
Yeah,
we
I
need 30.
One more point.
We need 30 for the SGP. Oh,
Who,
man.
Joe who?
Joel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Joe.
All right. Well, we wanted to call in from Aruba. Say hello.
What's up? How's Aruba? Is it hot?
Hot.
It's actually insane. It's
Too hot.
Yeah, we're burnt. We're
You're
burnt.
you're like on the equator.
you can see Venezuela from here.
Swallow.
So, but I honestly, it's consistent weather. It's been like 85 and low of 78, and it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. That's what the weather is every day. If you just look at anything, that's what it's been. So it's been nice. We're burnt to a crisp. We spent the whole damn day outside.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we wanted to get in, say hello, and
isn't Aruba like Dutch?
it is. Yeah, I was telling Chrissy that when we landed. Yep, they're European owned.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was Dutch.
So, but yeah, so yesterday we had a little too much fun with the alcohol department, and then today we're taking it easy.
Drinking water only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How's the food? How's the dinner? You guys have good dinner yet down there?
Christy's not a fan, but I'm like a college frat boy, so the buffet is great. You know what I mean?
So you guys haven't gone out to dinner yet?
No, it's kind of funny how it works out. Like you have to reserve it 2 days in advance, and we got here Monday, so
yep. So you're gonna be on the back end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we have Wednesday, Thursday figured out. We're gonna do Friday. We're gonna try to watch Nova if we can.
Nice.
Yeah, is that gonna be on ESPN? Anything?
It'll be national somewhere. I mean, CBS carries it.
Find it, yeah.
But somewhere down there they'll have that on. I mean, that's a like legit thing. So.
All right. Well, what else you got? You got anything else?
Nothing.
Hey,
Bridgerton or what is it?
Bridgerton's on.
Bridgerton, new season.
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Well, hey, it was great to hear from you guys. Congratulations again in person, or not really in person. And
congratulations, I was a soul on Saturday.
Yeah,
I was floating away.
I know. Hey, good. Congratulations, guys. Have a good time in Aruba.
Yeah.
Enjoy safe travel.
All right.
Thank you, Gordy. Gordy, hold it down, buddy.
I got you covered.
All right. See you guys next week.
Later, Ken.
Later.
Little cameo there by the newlyweds. How about that? Gotta love that.
Very nice. So, yeah, very, very nice. Congratulations to them. So
Gordy, it's looking not impossible here. Not impossible. So while they're in timeout, I mean, I guess we can just kind of start the podcast since no one else is watching the game with us.
Yeah.
Right now. One of the things we were talking about with the Sixers team is that, first of all, with Harden, if this game is not proof that you guys that people need to kind of like breathe a little bit and like just give this dude a second, like just it's all good, man. Like this guy, Gordy and I were talking about this before the podcast. This guy was one time the greatest player in the game. Yeah. At that time, like he was the MVP, he was the greatest player at the time. And he's not that right now, but he's still a great player. So everybody just pump the brakes a little bit, right?
Yeah, stop with the gloom and doom. Harden is not washed. Harden is not going to be washed for a number of years. His game translates well to old man ball, to be honest with you. He's not a super athletic guy, never has been.
Right, he plays a slow
and I don't
beam.
think he's healthy either. I do not think his leg is right. That hamstring's real. If anybody's ever tweaked the hamstring, man, you know it's real.
Well, oh my God, Fireworks right now.
No. Might be, and that just I hit my SGP right there.
We got fireworks here. So holy shit. Yeah, so listen, Harden's sitting with 32, shooting over 50% from the floor. 4 of 10 from the behind the arc. Everybody's been bitching about wanting him to shoot. Here you go. Here it is. He still has nine dimes to go with it. Yeah, like everybody just calm down a little bit. Calm down a little bit. All right.
I mean,
God.
Yeah, like people do need to take a chill pill and not. I mean, the Sixers are going. We said this the last time I was talking to you and Kenny. The Sixers have to be ready for every team's best shot. Every team's going to come at them. You got the MVP, current potential MVP, and a former MVP, and a bunch of solid players around them. And you're one of the favorites in the East. Every team's coming at you to give you your best, to give them their best shot. And
I remember when
I talked
you
earlier
and I,
too. The Bucks definitely came out tonight looking to give them their best shot.
Hands down. And I remember when you and I were talking when they first made this trade for Harden, I said, you and I were both talking about it like literally at that moment. We were like, dude, they are going to have the X on their backs because that's just the way it is, man. And it was that kind of move. It was that kind of trade, So, what's going on with this? What's going on with this goaltending? This is really hard to podcast while this game's happening.
I don't know.
So all we know is that Joel seems to have hit a dunk with less than 2 seconds. I don't know. This will all shake out, I guess, eventually. So we shouldn't really spend too much time on it. But,
Yeah. I'm reading the thing right now because I can't see my screen. I can't see my TV. So, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the refs have screwed everything else up tonight, so I'm sure they'll screw this up too. So, whatever it is.
Yeah, the referees are seeming to be quite the issue in every sport at these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, dude, the NCAA reffing. Oh, it's been bad.
What the fuck happened?
What?
What the fuck just happened? They overturned it. They must have challenged it. They must have challenged it as a goaltend, and originally it was ruled a dunk because it was called a goaltend, and now they're saying it's a goaltend.
I thought Joel hit a 3.
It was a 3-foot dunk.
3-foot dunk. And
that nullifies the SGP. Brutal. And an L. What a turn of events. Holy shit.
Okay, well.
Wow, that's wild.
Maybe I should try to cash that. That's done. That just got taken off the board, too. Wow. Thanks, refs.
Wow, that's wild. Well, what a way to begin this lovely Tuesday night for the podcast. See, here's the thing. I mean, they played a decent game there. I mean, one of the things that Gordy and I were talking about during the game today specifically was just, turnovers and empty possessions, and mostly empty possessions because of turnovers. It's something that this team needs to watch out for. That without a doubt down the stretch.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that they are doing is, teams have lulls. Like every team does. The Bucks do. The Sixers do. The problem with the Sixers' lulls are they are empty possessions that are oftentimes really bad. Like there's bad empty possessions because you didn't get any points, right? You miss a shot, whatever. But when you turn the ball over and they get to go in transition the opposite way, or you throw a rock hard brick off a backboard or bounce something short off the front of a rim and I can get it running away and take it down the court into transition, we know they struggle in transition D anyway.
Yep.
So, some of the empty possessions for the Sixers really hurt them because they're ending in turnovers. Not just like a good look and a missed shot. You're ending in a lot worse of a situation than that.
So
unfortunately.
I'm trying to catch up on Twitter because we're obviously not watching the game and we're kind of like live casting it right the fuck now. So this is a little bit of like behind the eight ball type situation, but apparently everyone on Twitter is completely like crucifying Doc once again for his last second play draw.
No. I mean, we don't know what was drawn up. I hate to say it like that, but we don't know if it was
You're right,
drawn
we
up that
don't.
way and
You're right.
they just didn't execute it, or they. Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
No, 100%.
That's, but that's been a problem for them too. They far too often come out of a timeout and turn the ball over. Not just get a bad shot. Again, they come out of a timeout and turn the ball over.
Right.
And that's frustrating to watch, dude. It's so frustrating to watch.
Yeah, they take questionable, like they don't set things up sometimes. They like panic almost, and they take like questionable, like leaning shots and off weight shots. It's just kind of a weird thing. I hope that the Harden thing with him slowing down the game and kind of being more deliberate about the way that he goes about things. I hope that kind of helps change everybody in those last moments. But it's
Right.
going to be a process. They've only played together for like fucking 14 games or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's less than 20 games now.
Right.
So they're not. Hey, they're still growing pains, man. If you
happen.
think any team out there wants to play them right now, nah. No team wants to see them in a 7-game series.
Well, and speaking of, guess who's showing some chinks in the old armor? The Nets.
Oh, you mean the Nets are quite possibly overrated as a 9
like
seed?
one could say.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying like give us the Nets, let's go, bring them on. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that everybody again needs to stop fucking overreacting about every little thing. Like the Nets have 3 good games and they're the greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
The Harden has 2 bad games and we were idiots for trading a guy who never played. Like
Right. Washed.
It's ridiculous. Like calm down. Everybody just calm down. But the one thing that we were talking about that is real is the fact that this team specifically, and we talked about it, it's kind of like it's not that this year is a lame duck playoff, but like I hate to say it, but going into this playoffs, that doesn't feel like we're actually have a chance to win the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
That's how I feel. How do you feel?
I actually do think they have a chance. I
shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say they don't have a chance. I said this last week. I think it's like I said 50-50, whatever that means. But like I think they have a chance to win, but I just don't know if they can beat like the Suns or someone like that in a 7-game. Yeah.
The Suns have separated themselves from everybody. And
really
they
have.
do it with extremely good guard play with Chris Paul and Booker, who are ridiculous together. And people will look at Harden and they'll say, well, you played with Chris Paul for a few years. Why couldn't you guys do that same thing? People forget they really did have the West won, and then Chris Paul got hurt. Which,
I know.
I mean, like Harden very well could already have a ring and very likely might have if CP3 doesn't go down at that particular juncture. They also played with each other at a different time in both of their careers where they were in very different places. Chris Paul, say what you want about him, he's kind of turned over a new leaf and I think resurrected, not that he wasn't already going to be a Hall of Famer, but I think resurrected his career in a lot of fans' eyes because, I mean, he was another guy that he really great player, didn't win anything, ran coaches out, could be really rough on teammates.
Yep.
Like he's a tough guy to apparently like get along with, play with. I'm not saying as a person. I'm just saying like he's tough love type of leadership. Um, and whatever he's done going from his last couple stops to Phoenix, he's really made an improvement. But that team is so deep. I mean, bro, they don't even. I mean, Dario's hurt this year.
Right.
They don't even use him.
But
You
like,
know,
okay, so exactly what you're talking about right now, depth. Like, dude, the Sixers bench is like the baby pool.
Yeah,
That shit is thin, dude.
That's a
It's
good
thin.
way of putting it. Shallow.
You know, it's
Very
shallow, dude.
shallow.
Because like, look at, like, I mean, seriously, you got maybe two guys that can hold weight. You know what I mean? Like, and then after that, it's like scrapping. Really, I mean, I know they gave Danny Green some like legit minutes tonight. I'm looking at it now. They gave him 23 minutes tonight.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
it
I
is.
know they're trying to get him going. Maybe maybe it was a matchup thing. I can't imagine it was.
That
with
was a
Danny
matchup
Green,
thing.
know?
Like watching the game a little early on, they were sagging off of Matisse pretty bad, and putting Danny out there, he got out there and immediately hit a three, like within 30 40 seconds, first or second possession. I think he knocked down one. They had to come out on him. I love Matisse, but if you don't have that one perimeter guy for him to go out and try to shut down, teams can double off of him and sag into the lane and clog stuff up for Joel and Harden as well, to be honest.
Right. It doesn't
So-
work. Yeah, but the Matisse plan doesn't really work fully. When exactly what you just said. I mean, when teams are deeper and they have more than just a big man who can do some stuff down low, but then one good shooter. If they're deeper than that, like we're gonna struggle, and that's just the way we're set up right now, unfortunately.
I'm not 100% sure. I should have paid more attention to it. I'm not sure if they had Matisse tracking Drew or if they had him on middle trying to slow down Middleton. I personally think he should have been glued to Drew the whole game because Holiday makes their engine go as
Yep.
far as the Bucks go. You know what I mean? When he's running point, and he had a good game tonight too. The Bucks are dangerous. All three of those dudes, Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis, all showed out tonight. And Brook Lopez, coming back from injury, did his thing too, stretched the floor. 7-game series, you're not going to get 17 or 18 points, basically all from three from Brook Lopez every night.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know,
That's not gonna happen.
that's not going to happen. I mean, he might do it a game or two, but he's not going to give you 4 out of 7 nights like that.
Yeah. No.
So, I do think the Sixers are a legit contender. In a 7-game series, dude, I don't think Miami wants to look at the Sixers. I mean, the Bucks are an interesting matchup. I don't think the Bucks really fear anybody, but I think they'd rather wait to see the Sixers till late. The Nets, listen, I'm going to be straight honest with you. I don't really want to see them in the first round.
No.
It's not that I
hell
don't
no.
think the Sixers can beat them, but I mean, listen, they have two dudes that offensively are elite with Durant and Kyrie. Like offensively, those two guys are elite. The part that the Nets miss, and it's not whether or not Seth Curry plays and or is healthy, like that helps them.
Right.
The part that hurts them is they play very little defense. Like they are a team. You and I have talked before about the Charlotte Hornets and how they win games, right?
Yeah.
Like they just outscore guys that
Yep.
or outscore other teams. They do not lock you up on defense. If you show up stone cold, they'll bury you. They will blow you out because they will score points. The Nets are very similar to that, actually. So it's kind of poetic that they're flip-flopping 8 and 9 spots right now because the Nets are basically the same thing. Kevin Durant and Kyrie will light you up.
Yeah.
And
And again, tonight giving up. I mean, they're playing Detroit tonight. Who, come on, right?
Right.
They're in a struggle game against Detroit, and I mean, they have already given up 110 in that game against Detroit, and it's still there's still time left in that game.
Yeah.
The game's going to go well over the over under looks like
Okay.
so.
I'm sure it's already over. Okay.
And was this Kyrie's was debut, or did he play last
No, he played one other game. They lost.
week?
They
So
got beat by the Hornets.
okay, so there you go. And now that was that game. Okay, yeah, I remember that game. And now now you're looking at they're probably going to win this game. They're probably not going to lose this game, but
More likely, yeah.
they're double-digit favorites, and they're fucking around with Detroit, barely winning it like in the fourth quarter. So it just goes to show you exactly what you just said. The teams that don't play defense are going to struggle in a 7-game series. That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the Sixers do play more defense than a normal team, they don't have a great D right now, but I think that's because of their speed, dude. They're slow.
Yeah, the Sixers don't have enough athleticism to be a legitimately good defensive team.
Right.
And the other thing too, there, Joel, he does play both sides of the court. He's offense and defense. He's excellent both ways. There's no doubt about it. He's a two-way player. But early in games, dude, if you want to attack Joel, attack him early in a game, because he's not going to try to pick up a cheap one. He's going to let a guy throw a floater up over him or get to the hoop for a putback or a layup. He'll let that go early in the game. You look usually late in the second quarter and later, anytime in the fourth quarter, he's going for blocks and he's trying to stop somebody from getting. He'll make his presence felt a little bit more.
Right. He's definitely mindful of the fouls early, especially in the first quarter,
because he knows they need him on the court.
Yep.
He knows it.
Yep. So I don't know, man. And while you're talking about Joel, we saw some stuff. I think it came out yesterday, or maybe it was even today. I don't know. They did that straw poll thing with the ESPN.
Yeah.
And back when they did it, when was the first date they did that? Was it early February, right?
Yeah, February 13th or so.
Okay.
Something like
so
that, yeah.
so mid-February, he was like odds-on favorite according to the voters at ESPN. Not even close. Like, it's Joel MVP. Then since that time, his stat line is better. Their records were almost equal, not quite. I think Jokic won like one or two more games.
One more win.
One more win. Okay, and call it the heads up win. Fine, whatever. And suddenly, Jokic is the clear cut leader at ESPN for MVP.
Landslide.
Like you can't even back that up. It's impossible.
That's stupid.
What? Because they have Harden now, so he's not an MVP?
Right. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, Joel's got more help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's got more help.
What a joke.
It's so ridiculous, dude. It's so ridiculous.
What a joke.
It's just media. And now here's the thing. I don't know who you have vote for it if you don't have the media vote for it. It can't be fans.
No.
And it can't be players, because players don't take anything seriously. Like you see that with you see that with the Pro Bowl. You see that with even the All-Star game. Like in the NBA, nobody takes anything seriously. Because the NBA I think has a thing where like part of your All-Star vote is like a player vote too, and like you got dudes that are bouncing from G League getting All-Star votes. Like come on, man. Like, so if they're not going to take it seriously, who else do you have do it?
Yeah, it definitely has to be the media. I think this one was like this thing that we're talking about specifically was just people that like work at ESPN. I think.
No.
No.
These
okay, I didn't know that.
These are people that will actually be voting. It was just ESPN that conducted it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I was very much. That's why I sent it to you. I was like, you got to be kidding me with this.
That's cringe. That is just cringe, dude.
It's bad. It's flat out bad. I mean, you cannot. And like I could see if it was like close, but it's like 3/4
right
for Jokic right now. Like,
but that's not.
why?
Listen, that's not what the odds say though.
No.
I think the latest odds I saw were pretty much coin flip, which is still crazy to me, but
Yeah,
whatever.
It
I mean, I'm not trying to be a fucking homer here, but like, listen, like, come on.
Yeah, for real. As of this moment, and I'm going to say this in a game, Joel outplayed Jokic. They lost that game, but he outplayed Jokic in that game. I'm not saying Jokic played badly, but
Yeah.
Joel had a monster game against him and outplayed him.
He had a great game.
Yeah, he did. Tonight, again, really good game. Giannis got the win. Giannis outplayed him. You know?
Yeah.
Like he did. He got 40 points, 14 rebounds, whatever else. I mean, Giannis got the win. So you can't, like I've said to you before with mixed martial arts, UFC fights, MMA math doesn't work, right? Same thing with this. Like Jokic beats Joel, but Joel outperforms Jokic.
Yeah. This
Giannis
is like
gets the win. Like,
this is like almost literally anything else, right? Like if like in college football, like if Akron somehow musters up the fortitude to beat Ohio State, they're not gonna that doesn't mean that they're gonna win by 100 when they play Central Michigan.
No, it does not.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not how it works.
It doesn't mean Central Michigan can turn around and then hang with Ohio
That's right.
State.
Fucking Maction is whack. The Mac is whack, bro. I can't wait to talk about college football again, but I'm really jumping.
Reference.
Really jumping the gun on that.
Get some zips talk in here.
But yeah, no, dude, like the Sixers are in good position, like to put a little bow on this. And I don't know, did you take any other notes that we missed? Because I know that we're kind of jumpy with this with the game going on and shit. I kind of lost my track, but
yeah. Now the biggest thing I think that we went through playoff seeding we wanted to touch on.
Okay, and you wanted to also talk about the play-in situation a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to kind of clarify, like, because we put some shit out there and it wasn't 100% accurate, and we're not trying to be like that. So right now, I guess I don't know if this is updated or not, but I have them still as a 2, but I guess technically they have the same exact win percentage as Milwaukee.
I think Milwaukee has the tiebreaker,
so that might flip.
Probably jump them after tonight's game.
So really, they could end up anywhere from 1 to 4.
Yeah,
like that's probably what we're looking at, right?
1 to 4.
In that scenario,
locked in. Yeah.
In that scenario, it's looking also like Brooklyn is probably going to end up 7, 8,
9.
Right, but like at best, like they're sneaking in 7, 8. So it's looking like whoever Brooklyn plays is going to be the 1 or the 2, most likely.
More likely.
Right.
So there you go. Do the Sixers just want to end up with the 3 or the 4?
And just kind of coast it out and see,
maybe take care of the Cavs in round 1 and move on to round 2, and then
you definitely would rather not play the Nets in round 1, right?
Yeah. And really, there's 2 reasons why the Nets are, if they're going to be healthy, more than likely they're going to be as healthy as they're going to get. Just because the way playoff basketball games are, they're a grind and it's tougher. So they're going to be about as healthy as they are in round 1. First of all, secondly, Kyrie and KD are going to come out absolutely locked in every game as much as they can. Now, granted, and I hate to say it like this because I'm not trying to talk badly about 2 of the best offensive players in the league, but they're not known for their defense. Neither one of them are. I'm not saying they can't lock down at times and play defense. Kyrie certainly has the athleticism to do it. Kevin Durant's an athletic nightmare to go against, especially with his length. But, I mean, they can be scored on, too. It's just you can't stop them from scoring when they're locked in.
Yep.
So, if Seth Curry's ankle isn't right, dude, I mean, he's a key component to them. Maybe even more so than Drummond right now. So, I lost you, bro. You froze. Now you're gone. Stay tuned, everybody. Working on it, everybody. If anybody's watching. Technical difficulties. Streak from.
believe someone out there is with your ex and they think they found the jackpot? Oh, so your day isn't that bad.
Trading with give me your forever. I am obsessed with New
Fuck
York.
off.
Shut the up and eat a love this city. I am obsessed with New
Fuck
York.
off.
Shut the up and eat a love this city.
Turn accents and therapy in 60 seconds. Essex.
Do you know what? I talk to you and I pay you. Just seem like really stupid.
German.
Problems in Germany?
California.
I literally feel like my moon sign has been like gaslit since the last Mercury. I am obsessed with New
Fuck
York.
off.
Shut the up and eat a love this city. I am obsessed with New
Fuck
York.
off.
Shut the up and love this city.
Dare I say that I am back from the dead?
Shit, we're back.
Holy shit. Okay, so
Technical difficulties.
holy shit. I feel like I just disappeared like down the wormhole or something. Morgan Freeman in this bitch. Where was I?
I don't know, man. We were talking about playoff seeding.
Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day, I have no idea how this is going to end up sounding, but I will try to my best. Yeah. At the end of the day, we don't want to play the Nets in the first round, so fuck that.
Right.
The one other thing that we want to touch on quick is the play-in situation. So,
Yes.
Gordy, you were saying that in the play-in situation, 7 would play 8, correct?
Yep.
And then the winner of that game automatically makes the playoffs, correct?
Yep. They're in as the 7th seed.
They're in as the 7. The loser of that game would then play the winner of the 9-10 game,
Correct.
and then the winner of that game would be the 8 seed.
Right. Yep.
So technically, if you lose the 7-8 play-in game, you still it's like double elimination for you because
Yeah.
exactly.
You can technically lose that game and still get in.
Right.
Just gonna be, you gotta go beat another team to do
You
it.
got a little uphill battle there, but
Yeah.
so basically, it sounds like the Nets are going to make the playoffs. Like, there's almost no way they miss.
I would think so.
So who, if you had to predict right now, if you had to guess who would be, well, I mean, shit, you honestly you could almost say 5, all the way up to 5 is questionable at this point. So like, who do you think are 7 and 8? If you had to
7 and
pick,
8. I'm going to say it ends up 7 and 8 ends up. Let me pull up the teams here real quick, just because.
maybe like Toronto, Brooklyn situation.
Well, so Toronto is interesting. There's a part of me that would love to see the Nets have to go to Toronto because Kyrie cannot go to Canada.
I know it's not looking good though.
No, I don't think so. I think it probably ends up Cavs probably stay 7. Cavs and Brooklyn probably are where that's going to end up. Charlotte and the Hawks have to play each other, and then I kind of like Charlotte there, to be honest.
Okay.
Despite what Trey does in the playoffs, and we know that firsthand.
We do,
This
unfortunately.
Hawks team's not nearly playing as well as they did last year. There's something off there. Um, Part of it might be that they're missing John Collins for a lot of it, but they're just not the same team that they were last year. They don't have the same mojo going in. Um, Probably Cleveland and Brooklyn would be my guess. I think it probably finishes right how it is right this second. Although I do think Philly ends up the 3 seed above Boston. I think Boston's due to take a little step back.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in the last couple weeks in the NBA season. Um, Seeding is going to really start to shake out, and I mean, what do we have left now? They've played how many games? 74.
Yeah, yeah, they got 8
Something
games
like that.
left.
Okay, so home stretch, to say the least, right? So,
Very much so.
but I guess to wrap it up, the one thing I would say about the Sixers is that I'm nervous about the bench, and I'm nervous about speed in the playoffs, and like almost like any other, almost like this is similar. I mean, baseball, it's kind of hard to compare it this way, but the speed of the game in the playoffs is just, it's a different level of speed, and like I don't know, the level of competition just ramps for everybody, and all of a sudden teams that don't play any defense, you see them start to really care on defense and shit like that. So like I'm a little worried about that for the Sixers.
Yeah, and that's a valid concern. I mean, I don't think anybody that is going to look at this team, see them having blown leads to more athletic teams, and then say, no, I'm not concerned. No, I mean,
Right.
it's been a pattern, all year. It's been a pattern the last couple of years, to be honest,
Yep.
through a couple different iterations of this team. So they actually have only 7 games left. I just took a look.
Okay.
The good news is, oh God, man, Detroit, Charlotte, Cleveland, Pacers, Raptors, Pacers, Detroit.
Wow.
I mean, realistically, after having just lost these 2 games, I'd like to see him win 5 of those. I don't see why they should.
Yeah. See,
Unless
so
you're
it
sitting
depends.
guys.
I think it's, yeah, right. So I think it's going to depend on if they sit guys, how hard they play down the stretch, like that kind of thing. Like that's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna determine that. That's my guess. But
Uh, 4 of them are away, 3 are home. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, uh, to me, I'd like to see them get 5 wins there. They get 5 wins, they get to 51.
So you're hoping for 5-2 down the stretch.
Yeah, I like to see 5-2. And really, their bench can give them. Their bench can beat either Detroit or Indiana because they're not playing. Well, Detroit's playing their people. Jeremy Grant's hurt, but they're playing the rest of their guys. Um, Pacers are really banged up, and they're not really playing anybody. So, uh, Toronto's going to come at them hard because that could be a playoff matchup. And Toronto's very well coached and super athletic.
Right.
So that's a tough matchup there. Hornets, the Sixers should want a little bit of payback there because the Hornets embarrassed them last time they played. That was one of those nights where the Sixers just couldn't hit anything,
Yep.
and the Hornets just couldn't miss. So
I remember it well.
yeah. We both
Yeah.
lost some dough on that one.
Yeah, we got waxed there.
Um,
So
yeah, but
I think it's gonna be interesting, man. We have the playoffs are very near. I'll put it that way, and I can feel you can feel it, like the energy starting to ramp up. So, looking forward to some playoff ball in Philly, buddy.
absolutely.
So, speaking of playoff ball, the Eagles made the playoffs last year.
They did last year make the playoffs.
Oh man, so dude, I can't say it enough. The NFL is absolutely fucking drunk. It's drunk. There's like no other. There's like not even any other way to describe what's going on in the NFL.
I mean, one division has all the quarterbacks. One league has all the conference rather has all the quarterbacks, and one division in particular has everybody. And it's nuts, dude. What's going on right now?
And now I heard today that Jimmy Garoppolo probably won't end up in San Fran, and because he had that surgery and his timeline's pushed back a little bit, so they're thinking about dealing him. And I saw something else. I saw another headline today that Taysom Hill is like basically officially gonna not be a quarterback anymore, and he's gonna be a tight end.
Tight end. I saw it too.
So like the NFL is just like fuck it, I kind of love it, to be honest.
I think it's entertaining.
Yeah. As if the NFL needed to be more entertaining.
Right.
Now we have this. You have Russ Wilson changing spots. You got Aaron Rodgers signing a ridiculous contract, having nobody to throw the ball to.
Nobody.
The star wide receivers just fucking being dealt left and right. Boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Tyreek Hill is a dolphin. Like, what the fuck is happening?
A dolphin.
What is happening right now? Seriously. So then you hear all this shit, right? And then I go over to the Eagles transaction list, and they signed Greg Ward to a year, which I'm fine with having Greg Ward around. Totally cool.
Yep.
My point is they haven't really made any huge splashes as of yet.
No,
and I don't think
Riddick was a great pickup.
100%.
Aside from that, dude, I mean,
the other one too.
Picked up the other guy.
Yeah, so they did have another pickup that was very under the radar and very underrated in my opinion, and it was Kazir White.
Yeah, right.
That dude, by the way, from Plainfield.
Is he? I don't realize that.
Yeah. Linebacker played linebacker last year for the Chargers, and he led the team in tackles. He had 144 combined tackles. That's 90 solo. And that's something that this team doesn't have. This team never had a linebacker that could just eat people up.
Mm-mm.
And I mean that he's doing it, and it's I kind of really love that they brought him in, and they only signed him to a 1-year deal. But I'm sorry, did I say linebacker? I did not mean to say linebacker. I said linebacker. He's a safety, but the tackles, the tackling on this team is imperative. And I mean, the safety position was a weakness, to say the least. He had 2 interceptions. I don't know. I was looking at his stats the other day, so I don't know. I'm kind of liking it. It's only a 1-year deal, so they're kind of being like, hey, let's check it out. Let's see what's up. He's not old, he's only 26, so right. It's not like a huge risk. I don't know. I kind of like it.
Kazir White's a linebacker.
Is he? That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's listed as a linebacker. His size. He's 6'2", 216. He's built like a safety.
That's what I thought he was a linebacker.
I was going to say, I was like, no, I'm pretty sure he played linebacker.
I thought I fucked up my notes.
No.
I have linebacker written down, but I thought
you are correct. No, he was a really good under the radar pickup.
1 year.
The other guy they grabbed was the receiver.
Zach Pascal.
Zach Pascal.
Who again I also think is not a terrible signing for this team, and to do things that you need to do with Jalen Hurts and a young quarterback. Not even Jalen Hurts specifically, just a young quarterback. You need guys who can get open and who can get on quick. Mm-hmm. And he's one of them. He's one of those kind of guys. He's not Tyreek Hill, but
no, he's not the I'll make a baseball analogy here. He's not the ace of your staff. He's your I don't want to. He's your Joe Blanton. he's your
right.
Jamie
okay,
Moyer.
that's the you go Joe Blanton, right? That's perfect, because it's like you need him.
Yeah, you need him, and you need him to play well.
You might need him. He's got to show up every once in a while, and he might hit a home run here and there, like legit.
Yep. Yep. He just might swing away. You
Yeah.
know? But yeah, like I like it. I thought that was a nice little under the radar move too. But aside from that, dude, I mean, eh, with the rest of the Eagles moves or lack thereof, like it's all going to be about the draft at this point.
Yep.
So
Yep. And I'm really curious now to see. Everybody's curious about the same shit, right? Are they going to draft all three picks? Are they going to draft? Are they going to draft a wide receiver? Are they going to trade for a wide receiver? Are they, are they going to trade back? Are they going to trade up? I don't know. They could do. They have a lot of options. It's really wild,
yeah,
really.
I don't. I think they take two of them in the first round. I think they use two picks first round. I think they trade one of them back for a first round pick next year and maybe I don't know, a third or something in addition this year. You know what I mean? Something like that.
As long as
Um,
it's unprotected.
yeah, I agree. It's got to. If you're getting rid of one of your first round picks, you need to get one back that's unprotected.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah.
unprotected.
You know, because they're not giving up crap picks. They're giving up picks that are in the top 20. You know,
Yeah, all three of their picks are in the top 20.
this isn't. Oh, we're giving you the 27th pick for.
Right.
You know, no. These are all top 20 picks. So these
I'd
are all
love
guys that you expect to be starters.
I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him grab another speed or edge guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see them grab a physical linebacker. They kind of have a physical linebacker now with this White signing. So
A little more depth won't hurt.
I know, but it kind of makes me I'm trying to read the tea leaves a little bit and try
They're
to
not
figure
gonna
out like what they're doing, what they're thinking, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. It's going to be
Well, that was
interesting.
my exact thought when I saw them that they picked him up. I was like, well, I guess they're not drafting one.
Right. That's
Even though it was
that's
only like a 2-year deal or one with an team option, whatever it is, right? I was like, oh, that means they're not drafting a guy. So
Jason chimed in on the YouTube. He said shout out to Jay, by the way. He fucking hung through the difficulties. He's texting me. He's like, "Yo, dude, you're leaving this dude hanging over here."
big
Uh
time.
yeah, so now he said he was a former college safety. So that makes sense as to why
There you go. That's
uh
why you.
my
Yeah.
shit was right, but
Well, he
also
plays
I felt like it
downhill
was wrong.
well, clearly, with
Yeah,
all those tackles.
he clearly plays downhill.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean the Eagles. There's not really much else to talk about, other than the fact that they are bringing back that Kelly Green as an alt uni,
I did see that too.
which
And
I
they're
think
doing it
is
right because
I
they're only
think
going to
is
wear it when they have the matching helmets.
yes. I also heard a rumor that they are going to wear black helmets with the black jerseys,
Saw that too.
which I think is going to be pretty hard looking.
That's going to look really good, dude.
Yeah, and the other thing that happened was the rule that they wanted to kind of change with the overtime rules was amended for the playoffs.
Yes.
So in the playoffs, each team will possess the ball regardless of drive outcome by the first team. Whether
Yep.
it's a touchdown or if it's a field goal, it does not matter. The other team will possess the ball, and I honestly think that's the right decision in the playoffs. I don't think it's the right decision to put it in the regular season, and they didn't. So
No, yeah, and I agree with that assessment too. Like for the playoffs, I think that's exactly what you should have. There was a statistic about, what team wins in. Did you see that at all? Like
which
what the team that wins the coin toss and how often they win? Or
I
you
didn't see it,
that?
but I'm sure that it's
So interestingly, it was in the regular season for years. It was basically 50-50.
wow.
It was right there. It it went a little bit up to about 54% for the team that got the first possession over the last several years. When you went into the playoffs, there's been 12 playoff games that have gone overtime over the last, I don't know, however many years. Dude, 10 of them, it was first possession finish.
Touchdown.
So, yeah, and it makes sense because those are the better teams, the teams that execute better. So you give them that extra couple minutes, that extra one possession, they're going to go score, right?
Yep.
So it was the right move to do this. I mean, geez, man, that Bills Chiefs game was so good. Everybody that watched it wanted more. Just
sucked.
one more shot. Give the
It
Bills
sucked.
one
It
more
sucked for
chance.
it to
Yeah,
end
let
the
them
way that
answer,
it did.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. So that rules changed, and now that won't happen again. And if you give up 2 touchdowns in overtime, you deserve to lose, dude.
100%.
That's a kid. There's nothing else to be said about that.
No.
So yeah. I mean, there's not much else to talk about with the Eagles. We got the draft coming up in a couple weeks, and we'll keep an eye on what's going on with them. So hopping around to the other sports, I mean, the Flyers are essentially field an AHL squad right now, which
Is that what we're going to call it?
I don't know. I mean, their guys are out there. Listen, they have some good young talent. They really do.
They do.
I
They're
like
good.
Cam. I like Joel. I like Philly Joel. They're calling him. I like Hayes. I like Konechny. Like, I'm just like going down the list. Like, I like some of their young guys. Like, I really do. But they got no chemistry. They got no leadership.
Right.
Especially not even talking about from the player perspective, but also from the coaching perspective.
Right. Organizationally.
Yeah, you have a lame duck head coach right now. Like, is he a coach? Is he your head coach? Is he not? No.
I don't think they know. And
So
when I say they, I mean Comcast. Like whoever is pulling the strings there. Like, I did listen. They said they were going to give Danny Briere some rope to do his thing.
Yep.
Please do, man, because when you look at that team, dude, they should be better than they are. Like, in talent wise,
Yeah.
they're not devoid of all talent.
No,
But
the injuries really, and it sounds like a shitty. I hate even
No, but it's
saying it
true.
ever, but it's 100% true. I mean, this team didn't have the Ryan. They spent a ton of money on bringing Ryan Elson here to actually bolster the blue line, and it would have and provide some veteran leadership, yada yada yada. Like, the list goes on, and that you didn't even see that guy on the ice more than like 2 games this year,
Yeah.
and Hayes was out for extended period of time. You can't when you put your eggs in those baskets and those eggs all break. There's not much else you could do. So you're sitting right now. You fired your coach. You have an interim head coach, not extended as the head coach to my knowledge. So he's still a lame duck head coach. And what do you get? What do you get out of that? I don't know. I have no idea what it's like to play in the fucking NHL. But I can't imagine that it's like kosher to be showing up to work every day, and the guy who's your coach isn't really your coach. Like, there's like that's a weird vibe that they got going on right now. It's just
Well, I mean, you don't know who you're. I mean, obviously, you're playing to win the game, right? That's what. It doesn't matter, even at our levels, any amateur thing, rec
Right.
stuff we played, right? You play to win the game, but at least you got the coach on the bench telling you what to do, and in the end, it's that person's decision whether you continue to play, whether you sit, whatever. I mean, with a lame duck coach, it could end up the GM comes down and goes, "No, I don't want that guy playing. I want this guy," or somebody above the GM comes down and goes, "Nah, we need to see what we got with all these young kids."
absolutely.
Like, you don't know what's going on, or these guys are in any pro sport. These dudes are playing for their next contract all the time, so they're probably looking around going, "Geez, we're on this sinking ship. I got to get mine," because all anybody's going to look at in the end is stats to pay me next time.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, he was a great soldier for us. He really gave it his all." Let's pay that guy $30 million a year.
Yeah,
Like, nah, they
no.
want goals and they want defense, statistics and shots blocked and all that kind of stuff. They want to see stats, dude. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So
Bottom line, I mean, there's not much else to be said. I mean, it's hard to even watch the games. I kind of want to just fade them and bet against them every game.
yes, except when they're plus 3.5.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do that, dude.
They
Plus 2.5
definitely
even.
they definitely show up sometimes. Like, they had that game against St. Louis the other day. They look like a team. They not dismantled St. Louis, but they just easily won that game. And Like you can't predict that. That's like they're like the most volatile possible gambling situation right now.
Yeah, they're a hard avoid. They are the process Sixers,
Yeah.
randomly beating the best team in the NBA twice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So, that is what it is. So we just got to coast them out. They have an unbelievably a lot more games left, and it's just really sad because, my God, the Flyers have to play hockey for another 30 days. It's just horrendous.
Ah, dude.
I know. I know.
Is it? Do they really have that many games left? They got another month?
Yeah, they do.
Oh my God, bro. How is that? I guess because of the break with the Olympics, right? That's why.
I think, but like normally the season does go late though. Like I was thinking about this last week when I was talking about Kenny. Like the season usually is like the playoffs are usually in May and June, so like that's normal. So, like the Olympic break did happen, but it doesn't. I don't really think it changed much. I don't know.
Maybe they just don't have 2 days in between games. They just every other game. Or every
Yeah,
other
maybe they're
night,
playing a
something
lot
like
more games like closer together. I don't know. Who knows? There's probably an answer, and I just don't fucking know it.
that. It's tough
But
to know it when that's the team we've got to pay attention to.
the good thing is, thank God that the Sixers are good, and the Eagles are have some
Solid.
hope, and
Right.
the Phillies have made some moves, and hey, dude, I saw fucking first time the dingers from both Schwarber and Castellanos.
Gonna see it a lot more too.
And listen, I know they lost like 14-2 or something today to the Yankees, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's just great to see these guys hitting. And the other day, Bryce threw out somebody like hosed them from out of right field. Like,
Yes, he did, and that was so nasty, dude.
yeah, man. Baseball is back in Philly.
It is back, and there is legitimate excitement about it.
Finally.
And I mean, dude, like, think about this. What team in Major League Baseball has an MVP, Cy Young runner-up, and you don't hear about him?
I know. They don't.
In a major media market. Like, come on, man. Like, like people should have been talking about the Phils a lot more than they were last year and into this year. But with the moves they made, and they did the right thing by getting those two guys and not why am I losing the name? The dude that went to the Rockies.
Yeah, Chris Bryant.
Right. I mean, if by all accounts he just didn't want to end up coming to Philly, he wanted to get paid extra to come to Philly because he wants to go get his stats and his money somewhere where nobody cares.
It almost felt like to me
Good
like
Colorado.
he needed to be the guy.
Yeah, he wants to go play somewhere where nobody cares. He wants to go play for the Pelicans. You know what I mean? And like,
hey.
there you go. There's Colorado.
Go make
Have
your money,
fun.
bro. Go ahead.
That's all good. That's great. That's not the guy that would have survived here anyway.
Nope. Nope. And it does certainly seem like these dudes that we got, Schwarber and Castellanos, are Philly dudes. Like they can totally hang with the Philly crowd.
I agree with that. In just the brief little comments I've seen of them and the little interviews I've seen with them, they have the personality that the fans here want to see. And I'm not saying they're always going to say the right thing. I'm sure there'll be some hiccups here and there, but they have the personality that the fans want to see.
You know, the Phillies did before we kind of move on to our last topic of the pod. The Phillies did make a move today or yesterday. I can't remember.
I saw that. Halsey or Halsey.
Hazley.
Whatever. They traded for Halsey, the singer. He's gonna do the national anthem every game.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
Bring her on board.
No, yeah, and I'm on the fence. I'm really on the fence about this, and I don't. It's not that it matters much, but like, here's the thing: you just traded away the guy that you drafted, first round, 8th overall in the draft, and you traded him for a minor league pitcher, who, I think his ERA was like 4.2 or something.
Is that what they got back? I didn't see what they got back.
Yeah, they got a minor league. They got a guy who hasn't really pitched in the majors yet. Now listen, I haven't seen this guy throw one baseball.
Sure. Yeah.
All I see is internet shit, right? So maybe they see something, and maybe they also see something in Hazley that they don't like. I don't know,
Well,
but it seems like a really quick give up on a dude, doesn't it?
it does. I I saw somebody. I don't know where the article was, but what ended up happening that I think was the final nail for him here. Uh, Jeez, let me see real quick here. The name of the guy's escaping me. I got all the rosters up. But Veerling,
Yeah,
right?
Matt Viewing.
So Veerling apparently basically outperformed him when Odubel went down, and they were like, "All right, here's your opportunity. Show us what you got." Now, athletically, you know, that kid was a number one over or first round pick. He could be a 5-tool player, right? He's
Yep.
got the speed, he's got an arm, he's athletic, he can track a ball in the outfield. To me, I've got something to say about the Phillies in particular, and their team and what they're going to have to look like moving forward. So I'd like to touch on that at one point, but like to me, if he can't beat out Veerling for playing time, he probably does need to change the scenery. Now,
No,
is
that's
that because
actually
they brought him up too soon, or is that because the coaching is piss poor? Because I don't, how many times have we seen guys in the Phillies organization go elsewhere and just get with a decent coach and boom, the light goes back on. So, I don't know, but I mean, he probably needed a change of pace or change of scenery. I'm disappointed that's all they got back. I didn't see what they got back.
yeah, they got a minor league pitcher, which again I don't really know much about, but um, I do like Matt Vierling. Matt Vierling, is a decent player and gave the Phillies some decent games last year. I mean, I'm looking. I just pulled him up while we were talking about it. In he played 34 games. He had 77 plate appearances and he batted 324.
Right.
I
I mean,
mean,
dude, if he does that for you,
no, I mean
splitting.
those are Hall of Fame numbers on the
Yeah.
long, but
Well, I mean, not even that. Like,
yeah, no, I
it,
know, but
but
like
in
if he,
spot duty, bro,
yeah,
if he can
yeah,
give any semblance of that, along with now, I hate to say it, I don't know how great he is at tracking a ball in center field. Like
yeah. So the defense is clearly one of their weaknesses, and um, but my whole argument with this defense thing is that their defense is not much worse than it was last year. Would you agree
probably
with that?
not.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not.
So if their defense is not much worse, their bullpen can't be worse. I don't think it's possible. I can't imagine.
I don't know, man. They've
You
had a
know,
couple of really bad years out of the bullpen.
the hitting should be head and shoulders above what it was last year.
Yeah, it really should.
So in my opinion, that equals improvement over the long haul. We'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll see. And I'm sure I'm gonna have knockdown, drag out arguments every fucking week with somebody on here about the Phillies, because I'm the Phillies guy.
Well,
But what's your thoughts? Like, what are where do you stand on the Phils?
I'm gonna sound like a real homer because I think they can absolutely get in the playoffs, and they are built to be the team that gets hot and rips through everybody. Because they can score. They are going to win so many games, 12-8, 10-8, that kind of way.
Softball.
Yeah, it's going to be softball scores. Like that's, they are built to be the team that if they get in, yeah, dude, they can just get hot and go. With any semblance of decent starting pitching. You're going to get it from Wheeler, assuming he's healthy, right?
Right.
Nola worries me, and he got shelled a little bit again today.
He did, yeah.
Like I'm starting to wonder if the aberration was him having those couple of good years, and he's a lot more like a 3 or a 4. And I don't really want to say he's a 4, but like,
Listen,
do we
this
have
whole
a
time,
true ace and then a
this
bunch
whole
of 3s?
this whole time, I thought he was a 3.
If he's a 3, then that's fine. I'm okay with it. If he's an upper level,
They need to treat him that way, though. That's the problem. So, like,
yeah, you can't. Trot
they
him out
can't
there
be.
for
And again, this year, dude, guess who's starting opening day?
Aaron
Aaron. And like that, the problem with that, like, it's not really a big deal. But like the problem with it is that it sends a message to the crowd, the fans, that like, look, this is our guy. Like here he is, man, Aaron Nola. And then everybody takes that and they're like, oh, he's got to be the greatest of all time. And then when he performs, in his average way that he does, people are like, well, he's a piece of shit. Well, no, he's not really a piece of shit. He's a number 3,
Right.
and that's what he is, though. So I don't know.
I think they need him to be a 2. He doesn't have to go out and be an ace. I think they need him to be a 2. If you got Wheeler and Nola as 1-2 and performing as a 1 and a 2 should, and I know Wheeler's going to. Again, as long as he's healthy, he's going to. I think you can get by with the rest of the guys they've got in 3, 4, and 5.
I think that the dark horse 2 on this team is Ranger Suarez, and I was calling for him.
I think Ranger's gonna have a good year, dude.
I was calling for him to be a starter, like whatever happened, and Kenny was tired of me saying it to him in the group chat, but I needed it. I needed Ranger to be a starter, and it finally happened, and he was fucking lights out.
Yeah.
And no, obviously, is he going to be lights out? Is he going to have a fucking sub-2 ERA? No, he's not.
No, he's not.
But if he's a 3.7, if he's a 3.7 ERA, you will win more than you lose with this team because of the way they should hit the ball.
Exactly. Dude, all these guys got to do is keep this is going to sound really bad. The whole staff just has to keep their ERA probably under 3.7.
If you're sub-4, they could do damage.
Absolutely.
And something else that needs to be said before we move on is that the gambling aspect of baseball is changing, and it's the first time this year. So there's no data on this other than American League shit. The NL does not have a DH, or does now have a DH, which will 100% affect the amount of runs that are scored in the NL.
Oh yeah.
So just keep an eye on that. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very good point, and it's going to be fun to make a couple bucks on that.
Yeah, just a little bit of an observation. So keep your eye open on those NL over-unders. So last topic of the day, before we put a bow on this technically challenged podcast tonight, is the Masters. We have some meaningful golf coming up here in what Gordy, is it like a 2 weeks now?
2 weeks. 2 weeks time.
2 weeks, and not only that, but we were texting back and forth. I was on Twitter, I saw it, and I was like, Gordy, Twitter told me Tiger Woods' plane is flying to Augusta right now, and and then
Eagle has landed.
And then 30 minutes later, we get the article. Tiger's in Augusta. It's hilarious, dude. But yeah, Tiger's up there walking the course, seeing how he feels, swinging a couple sticks. Never know. I'm telling you right now, if he does decide to play, I'm definitely taking him to make the cut.
If he decides to go, he feels good.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 100. He's not going to do it unless he thinks he can. He might not do it unless he thinks he can win, let alone make the cut.
Well, I'm not going to go crazy. I mean, maybe put $5 on it. Maybe $5 top 10.
Yeah, in his mind, he's like, I got a shot here. Yeah. But that's Tiger. No, I would 100% bet him to make the cut, dude.
Yeah,
100% bet him to make the cut. If he's going to go, I would absolutely do that. It is April 7th. The Masters tees off. So yeah, that is 16 days.
Yeah, it's less than that's a week and a half away.
Next, it's not this Thursday. It's next Thursday.
That's 10 days away.
10 days away.
So we figured we'd touch on the Masters just a little bit. Obviously, not like give you a fucking hole by hole flyby or anything, but kind of give you some thoughts as to who we think could maybe make some moves at the Masters. I don't know Gordy's picks, and he does not know mine.
Right.
This is kind of fun to do it this way, so I'm gonna let the guest go first, and I'm gonna let Gordy decide who he likes at the Masters this weekend. So, or well, next weekend. So, Gordy, you give. I guess you want to give out like a couple real picks, like people that you actually think could win,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then maybe some flyers. So, go ahead and
Yeah.
do your thing.
I'm gonna give you a couple of guys that I actually think legitimately have a chance here. And all of them would be a nice little return should you decide to throw something on and they actually hit. JT, Justin Thomas, always dangerous. Um, Colin Morikawa, the dude is lights out from 100 yards to 125 yards, and that man knows how to place his tee shot. He gets to his money zone, and damn does he make money from that particular zone.
He is a
So,
money man.
Colin Morikawa is a very real threat. He went from 44th his first year there to 18th his second year there. Funny enough, there was only a one stroke difference in that. So that tells you how difficult
Wow.
the course was playing one year to the next. But still, he and his proximity to the hole with his approach shots is a real key. And Patrick Cantlay is my third legitimate actual pick. Those are the three guys that I will put something on before the tournament starts. And Dave knows this. I'll tell anybody about it. After, generally speaking, the cut on Friday, you go back and you take a look at somebody in the top 10 that's not actually leading, and kind of look through those guys and check a few stats and kind of take somebody from there too. Uh, Assuming it's not one of your pre tournament picks.
Right, and really one of the big ones to look at is just birdies, man.
Yeah, yeah. Always look at who can light up the birdies, and who goes on the birdie streaks. Interestingly, according for that, and if you want something that's not something that's going to be well known, Colin Morikawa, I believe, is either second or first. I think he's first on tour in Eagles right now, which he is not the longest hitter. He's second in Eagles and like first on proximity to the hole for Eagles or something like that. Like
Yep.
ridiculous. And he's one of the shorter hitters out there. Not that he's short by any means, but so that just tells you how good he is with, his approach shots.
So do you have a flyer?
I have a flyer, and then I've got a couple of stupidly deep cuts.
Okay. So go
My
ahead.
flyer that I actually think is really trending in a good direction, and there's a possibility I may actually throw something on him just because he's plus 5,000 to start. Same odds as Tiger Woods right now, by the way. Sam Burns.
Yep.
He is currently number 2 in the FedEx Cup. He has won twice in this wraparound golf year. The dude is always in the mix right now and just playing really, really well. I didn't know a whole lot about him going back just a few weeks, really. I wasn't paying attention to him. He's somebody to pay attention to. He's playing extremely well right now. And my other one, the return's not going to be as high, but Scheffler is now world number 1. Another guy to keep an eye on. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like him to win this week. He might miss the cut, and I'm going to throw that out there because dudes that become
you
world
might be
number
able to
one-
bet, dude. You might be able to bet that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you can find that,
You might be able to find a miss the cut.
I mean, that would be an interesting bet. I might be able to find that. I've never looked for that, but I should, because guys that become world number 1 don't generally do great shortly thereafter. Like it kind of hits them, and
That's
then they
interesting.
panic a little bit. And the deepest cut I've got is a dude that played really well last week in the match play event, and that is Kevin Kisner.
Yeah.
At plus $15,000. I'm not saying he wins, but is that worth $5? You're damn right. So, I mean, why not, right?
Is it really that high? Oh my god.
Yeah, plus 15,000 right now. And the dude, you know, I mean, he knocked out the world number 1 last week, right? Out of the
Dude,
match play.
That's ridiculous to be that high. I mean, I guess because he just did something good last week, so they're figuring like there's no chance.
I mean, I'm assuming he's in the field because he's on the odds board. I mean, he might not be in the field. I don't know. If he's in the field, Kiz is somebody to throw $5 on, just as a super ridiculous long shot.
So $5 on that one, just so everybody knows, would return you $755. So that's not a bad. It's not a bad come up on $5.
No, if that hits.
So I got a couple here. I was going through the list, and ironically enough, two of mine were also on Gordy's list. So
Great minds, bro.
JT, I definitely feel JT right now. You know, he's got some momentum. Not only that, but he, you know, I was digging through some stats, and you know, he's the number one. He's ranking number 1 currently in approach. From that golden range that Gordy and I were talking about a little earlier. Actually, that might have been off the podcast. I don't know. 150 to 175. He's ranking number 1 in that range. Right. So that's one. He's currently sitting at plus 1,400. Another one that Gordy also has that I like is Kyle Morikawa. Dude is just ice veins, and he's just a solid player. And I mean, anytime you have Morikawa in a major, the guy is just, he shows up, and he shows up big. So I like maybe putting little something on Kyle Morikawa. I have two more plays. The next one is a little bit more of a stretch, but not too much. Dude shows up big every once in a while, and if it's the Masters, man, I'm telling you, he could do some damage. Hideki Matsuyama.
Wow. To repeat.
At
That'd
plus
be all the story, dude.
At plus 2,500.
Yep.
So only a little longer than Morikawa at 2,000.
No,
so
I like that pick, dude. I like that pick.
Matsuyama to run it back, and my flyer. I have one flyer so far. I'll probably take a couple more, but my one flyer right now is Mark Leishman, and I've been looking at him, man, and he's been pretty consistent.
He always shows up in big tournaments, dude.
He's been consistent, and I mean he's throwing darts around the green, especially on approach shots. I don't have his putting numbers memorized, but I remember seeing that he was a pretty strong putter as well. So
yeah, he is.
That's what I'm looking at, and those are my flyers for now. I don't know. I might probably dabble a couple more. It's fun to put a little some chump change out there on the Masters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like pizza money.
Man.
Turn something into a couple $100. It's kind of crazy not to, right?
The best part of the golf betting is that basically anything you hit, if you hit something, it's a good return.
Yeah,
because nobody knows who the hell is going to win, so the odds are stupid long.
Yep, exactly. So hey, man, it was awesome having you on the pod today. I
appreciate it, man. It was a good time.
Yeah. We even had the cameo from Kenny and Chrissy, the newlyweds.
To the happy newlyweds.
We had technical difficulties. We had a Sixers last minute loss. Man, this is a wild night tonight.
It was a lot.
Wild night tonight. But
that loss is going to be hard to get over.
I know. Now I've got to go watch the replay and get mad about it all over again.
I watched it during your technical difficulties.
So was the last play bad?
I could see in like real time where you thought it was goaltend. When you slow it all the way down, it might have been a clean block. I can't.
So, but what about the play call? Was it bad?
I didn't see the actual last play call.
Okay, you saw the
I didn't
block.
see that.
Okay,
I just saw the overturned thing. whatever they called out of the timeout, I got about 15 text messages saying that was horse shit. So whatever it was can't have been good or was
Well,
not executed properly.
Looking forward to reliving that misery tomorrow. So yeah, man, I appreciate you hanging with me. Anybody who checked it out on YouTube, sorry for the delay in the middle, but you know, we got it back going and finished strong. So thanks everybody for listening, checking us out. Please like, share, comment, fight me on Twitter. I really love arguing with people on Twitter. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
He does. He definitely does.
So yeah, man, thanks for hanging out, Gordy. Thanks for filling in. I really appreciate it, dude.
Thank you, brother. Hope to do it again sometime.
All right, everybody. Peace out.
Peace out.
Later.